Howdy, Possum Patty and the entire Soggy Bottom bunch. Right here where you left us in the last video, working on elements for my spread about the cider mill. And right now I am printing out pictures, and while I'm doing that, I'm stamping that owl with the hot steaming mug of cider. Let me just press this down a second. I got this stamp at the flea market, and it's like brand new. I had to peel off the paper. Oh, it's the Oreo o'clock already. Figaro, Figaro, Figaro. I had to peel the backing off, yes. So it would stick to the block there. So I've got two owls to paint. And I've got two pictures. Although the second one is a witch. So I think this is going to be a different page, yes. And this is me eating a donut. There's one donut left and just a little bit of cider. I might go out and heat up a mug of hot cider in a few minutes. Actually, I might do that now because I have to let this ink dry really well before I start painting the owls. So, yeah, I'm going to run out and do that. In the meantime, come on along. No, I didn't go get my cider yet. I decided to take my black Sakura glaze pen and make his eyes dark and shiny. That really gives life to the characters. And then I was like, well, let me just put some more on there. This is like a dimensional glaze pen. It dries nice and shiny. You do have to give it a few minutes to dry because it's very thick. I'm only going to do the thick line on the mug. I'm not doing the little cross hatching. I don't know how much I should do. I know. Usually decide to do too much. Where's his beak? You know what? I want to draw in a bigger beak. There we go. That looks better. The beak was so small it was lost in the feathers around his eyes. I already did the eyes up there. This one has the outline. Do his legs. So today we're going to be journaling about the other two buildings that were next to Clyde Cider Mill there. And the first one looks like it might be the old homestead. Definitely looked like a house. And it was a gift shop, and they sort of have you come in one door, and then you have to follow the line around and around the shelves like a maze. Everybody stays in line like this, and then you get up to the counter. So by the time you get to the counter, you have passed all the jams and jellies and condiments and syrups and bakery goods. And you have your arms full, right? You have your arms full. Well, I saw the pumpkin butter, but then I saw the apple butter, and I was like, I used to get really good apple butter, the Mennonite store in Pennsylvania. So I decided to get a small jar of that. And then we get up to the counter, and that's where you get, like your jugs of apple cider. And you can also see into the room where they're making the donuts. Yes, they were making them fresh right then and there. They were pressing the cider and making the donuts. I mean, how can you resist, right? No, they were not gluten-free. They also had a few other things on the menu, but those are the things that we went there for. I think this is all I'm going to do. As she does more. Okay, that's it. That's it. Let it dry. Now, if you're new to watercolors, you should remember the number one rule. Yes, the number one rule to remember when you are painting with watercolors is not to put your mug of hot beverage near your paint water. Yes. Or you know what's going to happen. Your paintbrush will go into your mug of hot beverage. So here's my hot apple cider. Let me take a sip. Still a little too hot. Still a little too hot. So let that cool off a moment. And I'm putting it way away from me. All right, where's the stamp package? See, I love the browns and tans on here. And I thought I would try to do that also. Now I've got a tan. I can turn this around. That's like a browner tan though, isn't it? This is more of a goldish tan. And that's like a reddish brown. But it doesn't matter, does it? And that's like a gray. And so is that. So we're going to have to go with what we have. It's sort of light on this side and dark down here. Darker on the wings where the cross hatching is. I don't seem to have that kind of brown. Oh, here's another. Oh, that's very yellow. That's very yellow. That comes out sort of greenish, doesn't it? Well, we'll just play with the colors that are here. I have to turn. And we're going to make it very light. It's even lighter inside the eye. Oh, but it's gold right around the eye. So you see the side with the, oops. This brush holds a lot of water. Oops. You see the side with the cross hatching? Now those are to be the darker areas. Now you could put a little dark in there. And then just pull the color out a little bit. And if it's not dark enough, you can always go back a second time. Okay, I'm just going to put the dark where this cross hatching is. And cross hatching is just inky lines that cross each other, just sort of indicate a darker area, a shadowy area. But if the lines aren't crossed, it's just hatching. And if they are crossed, it's cross hatching. So it's hatching and cross hatching. See, now that dried a little lighter. And I just put a little bit more in there. I like painting in stamps. I have a whole bunch of stamps that I want to paint. You might remember that fairy I did, that flower fairy. She came out really nice. So they have the darkest part of the wing right next to the lightest part of the owl. So we want that part to be light. That just gives it more dimension. And I can even make that wing a little darker if I wanted to. But then as we come across this way, it does start to get darker. And I'm just probably making the paper too wet, but I'm going to put some more dark there. And down there. And over there. I like a watery look. Some people like a flat, solid color. But I like a bit of a watery look. I'm actually trying to pick up some of the water. And so this is a very, very light tan there. So I'm going to get some more gold. Dirty it up. And then go even lighter around the eye. Maybe put a little more color in there. And maybe, looks like they added some brown. Like they have a little gray for the steam. And what color mug should we make? I think I want to give him green or blue. Oh, purple. Oh, purple. Yes, yes, yes. There's a purple here. Let's do purple. I put the color on the hatching and the cross hatching. And then I clean the brush a little bit. And then I'm going to put some dark color on this side. And up in there. Now, I don't want to add any more color. I just want to add some water. I want to leave that little white there. But come back here with the dark purple. And that just gives it a little dimension. So I'm looking at all these colors up here, and I love the dark. And you can see a little bit of the golds and browns. It looks a little odd right there on his leg. But if you go back with water sometimes, you'll get a bloom. But I think the bloom would look good on the owl because they come out very like feathery. And this owl needs one more thing, and that is some gold around his eyes. I'm putting the white back in his eyes because when I put the black, I accidentally covered up one of those dots. I had 3 on each side. There, that looks better. And there he is. A quirky owl with a mug of hot apple cider. Now, you know what? I didn't start this one with any of the brown, so we could actually make this one a different color. Maybe a little more on the gray side, a little more on the gray side than the brown. Oh, you know what? And we'll add some of that dark blue to it too. There's dark blue up here. Put that in there. I just kind of smushed together some of this black and gray and some of the dark blue. What's this up here? Some more blue. Ooh, that's a nice blue. Ooh, like a phthalo blue. That makes that sparkle, doesn't it? Okay, same drill. Gonna lay down some of the darkest color here on the hatching. Aiming for those hatched areas again. Okay, let's pull some of that color out into the body. When I mixed it with the gray, it came out kind of greenish, didn't it? Oh, this is going to be a green owl. I'm already thinking he needs a bright yellow mug. And then we need light colors up here. Turn them this way for a second. I went over the line. Just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. Looks like we got a bloom there. And down here on the wing. That's a pretty color. I'm not sure what to call it. Let's see. So we need a lighter color for in there. And so I'm just going to go very lightly. Oh, the beaks. The beak. Oh, got a little tiny bit of orange on the beak. We'll have to go back and do that. And then I need lighter yet around the eye. And then darker right here. And we need bright orange for the beak. Add some of that darker in there, I think. What color eyes? This one has gold eyes. What color eyes do you think this one should have? I think it's got a lot of green, like this has got a lot of brown and tan. So maybe something different. Maybe light blue eyes. Yes. Okay, now we need a little bit of steam color. Not that steam has a color, but I guess you can reflect the colors around it. And the mug. Gonna put the yellow on the edge. Mix a little bit of this darker color in there. I didn't really do the cider inside the mug, but it's really hard to see. No, I don't think this is really going to show. Aw, I love them. I'm going to let them dry a few moments and then I'm going to cut them out. Oh, there's the mourning dove. And I'm almost done cutting these out. And let me just show you how adorable they are. It was a lot of fun painting these little quirky owls with watercolor, yeah. Oh, and the Stinky Winky Woos is in here now, and she's down on the floor. That's why I'm bending over. Give her a little scratch. And Mr. Possum came in and said that little Miss Titi's not feeling well. So I'm going to have to cut the journaling short and go out into the other room. But thank you for joining me today for some Watercolor Wednesday, right? Some Watercolor Wednesday. Happy junk journaling. Bye-bye.